the Indian magician. So we're going to show
Okay.
the journey of how magic first came to India. First come back after 10 years, I chose to do this play. Most amazing, once in a lifetime kind of a
Right.
plays.
Firstly, Sharman, I have to say because I'm a Gujarati and I've been the biggest fan. I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times, but I'm that fan who's literally grown up watching you. Ame Lai Gaya, Tame Reh Gaya, it's still
Oh,
etched in my memory.
the moment you said you're a Gujarati, I knew Ame Lai Gaya, Tame Reh Gaya is going to come up.
It's gonna
Well,
come.
thank
Yeah,
you
yeah,
so much.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, sorry, you go ahead. Then I'll.
No, no, please share because for me, it's so nostalgic because I was a
Yeah.
kid 20 years ago.
I've been so fortunate that
Hmm.
in a period of 5 or 6 years of my theater, I got two of the most amazing, once in a lifetime kind of a
Right.
plays coming my way.
Correct. Right.
Very early in my career, I got a play by the name of All the Best.
Yes.
That was my second play. I had insisted to my father that this first play that I was a part of was my father's production, and he said that I'll make a play for you. And I said, no, listen, I really need to get cracking and I know that whether I'm even worthy of being on stage.
Right.
Well, anyways, that outing did give me some confidence and did give me some love also from people from the fraternity also. And
Correct.
Shafi Inamdar Sahab, he had gotten the rights of the Marathi play called
Hmm.
All the Best,
Yeah.
and he was adapting it into Gujarati. And he came up to me one day, Bhaidas Theatre, which is no longer there, it's
Which is
broken
no
down.
longer there. Right.
It's going to hopefully they give it the name Bhaidas only because
I
that was
swear.
the so that was a hangout spot for all the Gujarati theatre
Right.
people. And Paresh bhai also used to be there often, and Shafiba and the entire gang, my dad and the rest of the guys, hang around for a couple of hours and go. One fine day, Shafi Namdar says, "Listen, there's this play called All the Best." I'd already heard about it by then because it was like wildfire. The moment it
Right.
released, declared क्या? सबने बोला था it's an exceptional play. Hey, go watch it. It's at Dinanath Auditorium, Parla East, and you go and pick any role that you want to do. You pick the choice is yours. I'm
Right.
like, in my head, I'm thinking, choice is mine. Effect. I didn't
Is
hear him.
that true?
Okay. That happened to me. The rest is history. I played the deaf character's role and all of that. But then a couple of plays, and soon after I got Ame Le Gaya Tame Re Gaya.
Correct.
And that the play that you mentioned, which I also did in Hindi by the name of Raju
Yeah, of
Raja
course.
Ram.
I remember. Yeah.
And again, one another iconic play, again, Marathi original, which happen to be a part of the Gujarati adaptation of which I did
Yeah.
about some 500 shows.
Yeah.
And then just recently, about 7, 8 years back, I chose to come back to theater. I've been coming
Right.
in and out. So
Yep.
my first comeback after 10 years, I chose to do this play in
Yeah.
Hindi, Raju
Correct.
Raja Ram.
Raju Rajara. Yeah.
And I was like cursing myself that why did I keep myself deprived of being a part of theater, which I so love being a part of.
Absolutely.
So well, now I've decided not to deprive myself of any such great pleasures of life, and I'm going to constantly be on stage, and I'm going
Perfect.
to keep doing innovative things. And with innovation is the show called
Correct.
Braintertain. So
Absolutely. Perfect segue into it.
yeah. Yeah. So it was a show I'd seen 6 years back with Bhupesh Dave. I mean, with Bhupesh Dave performing it, and I was absolutely amazed. And I thought that, wow, this is something else. What skill is this? And Bhupesh always loved and respected the work that I had been doing in theater. We connected. We the kind of people we are, also kind of uh, worked well in the sense that
Mhm.
we gelled well, and he was more than happy to spend time with me, and some of my curiosities too was happy to. They were a little naturally there are secrets and there are some
Of course.
aspect of the tricks and certain ways of
Mentalism, yeah.
doing things which they naturally don't want to share. The community is fairly closed because
Correct.
all of it lies in that in those secrets is where the whole act is. But Khair, after he realized my keenness, and then he also thought that maybe we can together, club up together, and have
Hmm.
a unique show by where an actor and a mentalist get together, and that is me and him, and of course under his guidance and tutoring and all of that we've gotten he's there's so much more to offer, but I said right now just let me know my acts and we'll work
Right.
towards the effects that I have to perform. And here we are ready with the show Braintertainers. I'm going to be a mentalist
That
suddenly
is
from an actor
crazy.
to a mentalist. Yeah, it's crazy
Absolutely.
and it's
Absolutely.
so
And
exciting. Yeah,
yeah,
go
and
ahead.
because that's what strikes. I think your career has been like that when you tried all different sorts of medium when it comes to acting, right from stage to films to web and everything. And now here you are, the idea of
Television I want
reinventing
to do.
yourself. Yeah,
Television.
television is.
Yeah. Sorry,
I'm
he
I'm
was.
sure I'm sure I'm sure I'm sure television is going to come up with something really good for you because it really
Yeah.
needs to come up with something good for you to be
Yeah.
on board, I'm sure.
Each of the
Yeah, but
each of the mediums actually. Anyways, but yeah.
correct.
You were saying
Yeah, yeah. No,
sorry.
no, absolutely. No, no, please, absolutely. And so, that's what amazes me about you, that even today, after all these years, after the kind of resume you have, you want to reinvent yourself and then you come up with something like this. It's crazy and it's fascinating. What I want to know is that, when you learn the tricks of the trade, as you mentioned, that, it's a very close community and the secrets are obviously very, guarded, so to speak.
Critical and
But
crucial and guarded. Yeah.
correct, yeah. But when you get into it, of course, you learn that, okay, fine, this is how it works and everything. But what is the challenge that comes to you? Because performing as an actor on stage is a very different ball game as performing a mentalist slash actor on stage. So, what is the kind of, here nervousness slash, problems that you thought, okay, fine, how do I deal with this?
The smartest thing Bhupesh suggested to me, and thankfully so, with all the preparations and done and all of that, we're pretty much in
Mhm.
hold of what we needed to do. I was still very apprehensive, and I was still a little on the back foot, so to say. And he said, "Listen, the best way to address this and get that fear out of your mind is to take the bull by the horn." And he said, "Let's just go out there and perform wherever."
Right.
And we called up a few colleges, the principals and the trustees whom we knew,
Okay.
requested them. And I went out there with Bhupesh and performed the various acts and effects.
Amazing.
So that got me a lot of confidence. But yet, like
Nice.
you said, those were the effects. But just
Mhm.
to conduct a show of this nature, that I think I was always telling Prerna is my wife, that listen, there's a
Mhm.
reason why suddenly on television I did one show, WWE, and I hosted that, and it came from nowhere. And I
I'm a
said, why not?
WWE fan. I saw you. I saw you there.
You saw me, and I was like,
Yeah,
this is again, it's like a different set of skill that
completely
you
different.
require, right? And I
Absolutely.
have a lot of respect for all the guys who host and conduct shows. And I
Yep.
told
Yep.
them with my limitations of improvisation, you might think I'm a
Yeah.
theater actor, but I still can't improvise that very well. So you beware of whom you are wanting to cast. So, anyways, they were fine, and they said, "Don't worry, we'll make this happen." And so that's one show I did because that requires just in front of the camera, you're standing and you're talking. And
Yeah.
then the next show I did was for ZTV called Naya Bharat Sunehra Amrit Ka.
You're
So
right.
that talks all about the achievements that India has made in
Correct.
various spheres. Uh, and again, that show again was hosting a show and interviewing people and all that. But that gave me so much confidence that when Brain
Mm.
Trainers was something we said कि we can do, and I said, तब तक मैंने we thought about this many a times कि करते हैं. I said, yeah, करते हैं, but I don't know if it's my space. I've never been in this kind of a space.
Right.
after these two shows, and then we thought of doing this again, and I was like, boom, let's do it. And that's how it.
Fantastic. It's amazing, you just sort of reiterated what I mentioned, that, you continue to just keep trying new things, even
Yeah.
with, getting into those streams and aspects which you have
I,
no idea, and,
I
just,
just find it very exciting.
yeah.
Yeah, it's very exciting, and it's uh, well, we'll see how well it's received.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if it does get well received, it just brings so much joy which cannot be even explained in words. So
Correct.
yeah, yes,
Perfect, fantastic. And again, coming back to brain sorry, that it's as I mentioned, that the concept is obviously still relatively new, even for still
yes,
theater going people. Yeah,
yeah,
because I
yeah.
mean,
Indian audiences are hardly aware of it.
hardly aware of. Like,
Yeah,
you will find the urban, like someone like me who's grown up watching a lot of mentalist, and
yeah.
like I love mentalism. It's so fast. It's always fascinated me. I've seen so many people from out there, and obviously from Hollywood, from global, other sort of people. But to be reaching into theaters, it's you also cater to tier two, audiences, which, as I mentioned, they are not really aware about it. So how is it that you manage to try to find a balance where it stays entertaining enough, and it stays, it stays true to the essence of it?
No, no, it's an amazing show, and whether you belong to a metro city and have had seen these shows in whichever city of the world where it's more popular, New York or London or wherever else, this show of mentalism is going to be as good as what you might have seen. Also, for the two-tier city guys who are not even aware of what this is,
Hmm.
they are going to be stunned by
Hmm.
this entire act or show that we are going to perform. And there's a lot of, I get along very well with Bhupesh. Again, now, fortunately so. These
Right.
things happen organically, and it so happened. And I think that's why we continue to stay in touch with each other for 6 years and all of that, and then thought of doing this because we knew that as people, we would manage it. Now, as a show, let's see how it goes.
Hmm.
Preparation is done, well done, and we are both very excited. Bhupesh has been doing this for 40 years, so it's nothing new for him in that
Correct.
sense. And it's proven and tested. For me, it is something which is new, but again, I know I'm working on something that is proven and tested. So there is that
Right.
sense of comfort in my head also. So
Hmm.
yes, that's how it is.
Perfect, fantastic. Just a couple things to round up. When in, again, coming one thing about the show itself, as we mentioned, that everything is happening and you're excited. Everything is just right where it needs to be. But we're considering it's always a theater with it's reaches a certain amount of people. There's not going to be the kind of reach. It continues to be the devil's play. It used to be 20 years ago, still is the case. But mentalism, as I mentioned, is very much a factor that has come on television as well. There has been several shows. There has literally been a show called The Mentalist in the fiction space, from out there. So my question is that if it goes to be, turns out to be the kind of success you obviously want it to be, do you plan to, have it, become a television show, or in the current scenario, a web show where it tries to reach, more and more people?
Yeah, we are open to it. There are all possibilities that we are looking at. And as long as it's fun for us to do, we are more than happy to, you know, look at that. And also, we are already ready with a second concept of our show. This is going to be
Great.
one show which I think will run for at least a couple of years. And thereafter, we are going to come up with a show called the Indian magician. So we're going to show
Okay.
the journey of how magic first came to India and what the journey of magic, magicians, and eventually it's come to its form of mentalism. So it's
Right.
going to be like the history of magic, so to say.
Right.
And I'm going to play the role of a Madari in that. the guys who
Fascinating.
play around with monkeys.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. Along
Is
the
start
Banjaras
from
and
there
you know,
going to even more complex and difficult effects and acts.
amazing. That is so even so amazing to hear that
Yeah.
it's just consistently getting into new and new avenues. And just finally to round up, I have to ask, because of course you've, apart from all these things, you've always been one of the most loved actors when it comes to films as well. You've had a great, everybody, I mean, it's no surprise, it's no secret. But the past few years have not been very kind, not just in terms of the box office, but I would say in terms of the characters as well. And it's a lot to do with the kind of film when you choose and it not really doesn't really turn out to be the way you envisioned it to be. And that's probably been the case. So my question is that now that you see that okay, these past few years have, and you've, as I mentioned, you've dabbled in so many other things, and just constantly reinventing yourself, what do you think that it's going to take a film, which film is it going to, what kind of a film, what I mean to say, or what kind of a character, I mean to ask, is that it's going to take for you to become the Sharman Joshi that the masses love, because that's reaching the actual masses.
I believe in the cosmos working for you when your
Okay.
intentions are correct and your efforts are in the right direction, and there's no malice, and the effort is only to fulfill the goals you set for yourself, and do that with complete honesty and sincerity. It'll happen to you. Uh, OTT is also going to offer me some great and important work, I feel. I think right now we are in a phase where everything is being leveling out now. Was there was an advent of multiple platforms who
Hmm.
went hammer and tongs in creating the content to grab the larger share of the audience. Now it's come to a time where they have also settled and they
Hmm.
understand that now it's not going to be about outbeating each other with the amount of stuff we can put. It has
Yes.
to be with the quality of content that we'll put. And for that, I think everyone is working very hard. And working very hard, first and foremost, would be the script. So,
Absolutely.
good scripts will be written. Hopefully, good actors might be considered. And hopefully, I am one of those guys.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure you're always in the consideration, but I think it's all about script, as you rightfully mentioned. Finally, just round off, and it's just a very fan question, I would say, because as I mentioned that you are just so beloved with your film characters as well. If there was one classic that you've been a part of, you had to relive. I wouldn't say remake because I think it defeats the purpose of the novelty of the original, but more so like relive in the with the same novelty today, which film would it be? On which character would it be?
Um, I loved Naya Daur, and then Lagan kind of came in the same space.
Right.
These films I've loved deeply.
And and if there's one of your own from from your own
Oh, yeah, just for the sheer of fun that we had, and just for the fact that we knew we had a great script in hand, and we knew we'll find love. How much love was the only question, and it's Three Idiots.
of course.
It was a joy working on that film. We
Yeah,
all got along very well, and eventually the love that it received is amazing. We still continue
it's
to
crazy.
receive love for the
Of
for the
course.
film. It's one of those iconic films. They happen.
Absolutely. I
Happen.
mean, yeah, it's there for
Raju
posterity.
sir says that we worked on it, we worked hard, and then suddenly the film just got wings of its own, and it was kind of writing itself out, is what he
Yeah.
says. He
Yeah.
says these things cannot be, you can plan only to a certain extent.
Of
Beyond
course.
that, it just flies on its own. So yeah.
Absolutely. Films like Three Idiots just stay for posterity, and it's just going to keep growing and growing, I'm sure. Thank you so much, Sharman. Such a delight to talk to you. Something, I revisited my childhood thanks to you. And we obviously talked about some great stuff. I really wish you all the best, and I will be watching it for sure.
Thank you so much. Kind of you. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.